Next on Ebert and Roeper.
Good kids don't get that way by accident.
Is that a compliment?
2 early reviews, An Unfinished Life with Robert Redford, Jennifer Lopez, and Morgan Freeman.
Oh.
Catherine!
What?
And Proof with Gwyneth Paltrow and Anthony Hopkins.
Plus one of the best films so far this year in the Thumbs Up video segment.
That's Jason Statham in Transporter 2. And you know, Richard, you really have to know what you're doing to make your car do 360 degrees so the hook on that crane can take off the bomb that's stuck on the bottom of the car. That's very good timing.
He's the Transporter, too.
And I'm Roger Ebert.
And I'm Richard Roeper. Our first movie is indeed Transporter 2. Now, you know, I really like Jason Statham's lean, mean driving machine in the original, but I figured that sequel was in trouble with that unimaginative title. Couldn't they have called it Transporter 2 Round Trip or Transporter 2 Car Garage or something? Maybe not. Anyway, in a plot that feels like Man on Fire warmed over, Statham's Frank is now the chauffeur and best buddy to the precocious Jack. As in Man on Fire, Jack's mom is model hot and Jack's dad is a wealthy, near absentee father. So Frank is the one who has to take little Jack to the doctor. That's Katie Nauta in a pure comic book role as the lingerie-clad, gun-happy Lola. She's not much of a shot, but it's not for lack of effort. Transporter 2 ventures into speed racer territory when Lola forces Frank to ditch the cops.
Not bad.
Did your mother ever teach you to say thank you?
Not that the first Transporter was steeped in realism. Certainly the action scenes were over the top, but it wasn't aiming for camp. Here, everything is just too preposterous and silly, including the transformation of Jack's former nemesis from a crusty, world-weary police inspector into a silly sandal-wearing tourist. Now, I still think Jason Statham is the real deal, but Transporter 2 careens wildly off course before finally running out of gas.
You know, I like it for the same reasons you didn't like it. I like it that it's preposterous. I like it that it's silly, because I have seen so many chase scenes and so many action pictures that the only way they really work for me anymore, unless they're awfully good, is if they go over the top into satire and comedy. And that scene where he goes off the edge of that pier or whatever it is, and the car goes like this, and he flips the bomb off, I laughed out loud in the screening room, and I thought...
Yeah, you did.
Okay,
that was you chuckling back there. I knew somebody was laughing.
I realized they know what they're doing here, and they're deliberately doing it, and it's deliberately just as ridiculous as you say it is, and that's okay because it's done. Well, and then also, of course, the plot. I like the way the plot develops. I like the fact that why they kidnapped the kid.
The antidote and the breathe on people and the virus and all that
I thought that was
stuff.
all kind of ingenious.
And, you know,
kind of ingenious, yes,
Roger,
it was.
I know what you're saying, and you're right. They're obviously aiming for this kind of over-the-top effect here. When you have the girl Lola with her giant guns, and she always just has her underwear
mascara,
on. Always an excuse to just wear her underwear.
Run mascara run instead of run Lola run.
Exactly. But the original Transporter, like I said, you know, the Jason Statham character I thought was, you know, a real character that could have been in a lot of movies, and they're setting this up for Transporter 3, but now it's going to be a comedy.
They could have gone one of two ways. They could have gone James Bond way, or they could have gone serious thriller way, and I think they're going James Bond way.
My disappointment is that it looks like the Lethal Weapon franchises, which started out hard and rated R and good action and turned into these silly comedies, and I don't want that.
That's happening all across the map because the theaters are filled up with teenagers who are under 17, and they don't want to lose those ticket sales.
You know what?
Just the way
for
it
me,
goes.
I get what you're saying. It's mildly entertaining, but I can't recommend it.
Okay, Nick Cannon was terrific in the movie Drumline, but that early promise gets misplaced in Underclassman, an embarrassingly bad comedy or cop picture or thriller or romance or something. I don't know, all of those. Cannon, who is almost 25, plays a cop in his early 20s who's sent into an exclusive private prep school in Los Angeles to investigate the murder of a student. That's the setup for awkward jokes involving his attempts to seem like a sophisticated prep school student and the white student's attempts to seem street.
Dude, you think I'm kidding? Look, dude, I'm pretty sure you're a really talented parking monitor. But this is the student parking lot. I'm a student, so I'm parking here. If anybody got a problem with it, you tell them to take it over to the new black guy.
The movie is a roll call of racial stereotypes with Cheech Marin and Kelly Hu as fellow cops and Rosalind Sanchez as a sexy Spanish teacher.
I came to give you this. Look. I'm proud of you, Trey.
Yo, I'm gonna have to frame this.
I wanted to keep it up, okay?
Definitely keep it up if we can keep up our private lessons.
Underclassman is the kind of movie that doesn't even try to be good. Never in the history of the world have there ever been any students, any teachers, or any cops, anything like the ones in this movie, and the change is not for the better, thumbs way down.
Well, thank you. Your review was a lot more entertaining than the movie. I enjoyed hearing what you had to say there, and you're so right. Nick Cannon's a likable young actor. He's been good in other things. I agree with you. This movie doesn't try to be good, and I think we've reached our limit of films where we see the white kids trying to be hip and the black kid shaking his head, and he's got to tell them the real phrase that all the hipsters are really doing. And Rosalind Sanchez, I mean, it's really like Mary Kay Letourneau territory, because she thinks he's 16 and she's flirting with him. So, I mean, it's a mess. And I don't think it matters about giving this away, but the ultimate villain here is the least believable bad guy ever.
Totally, and for reasons or motives that are completely implausible. Totally implausible.
Yeah.
And, you know, there are really better ways to steal money. If you really want to be rich and you have connections and so forth, than the way they try to do it in this movie. Also, what about the scene where Nick Cannon turns out to be a basketball virtuoso, scores 33 points in 2 or 3 minutes? I mean, this racial profiling here in these movies is getting to the point where there aren't any role models for young black kids who are, maybe he could be a cop who's smart. And goes to school. You know, how about that for an idea?
Yeah. Well, this is one of those movies at the end of the year you'll say, Underclassman, what was that about? I don't even remember it, hopefully. Okay, coming up, Jennifer Lopez, Robert Redford, and Morgan Freeman star in An Unfinished Life.
Read Richard Roeper at Suntimes.com and Roger Ebert at RogerEbert.com and download their podcast at iTunes.
Our next movie is The Constant Gardener, starring Ralph Fiennes as a British diplomat whose wife, played by Rachel Weisz, is murdered after discovering that pharmaceutical companies are testing dangerous new drugs on poor Africans. As he tries to find the truth behind her murder, his respect and love for her only grows. This film is based on a novel by John Le Carré and directed by Fernando Morales, who made the great 2003 film City of God.
And what does IC mean?
It means informed consent. It means they consented to treatment and have family medical entitlement.
And that treatment is Dipraxa. But if they don't give consent, then they lose the right to medical care. It's not much of a choice, is it? I suppose they're not even informed that they're testing a new drug.
We gave The Constant Gardener 2 thumbs way up in an early review on last week's show. I think it's one of the year's best films. It opens this week. It's a terrific movie.
It really is. And you mentioned Ralph Fiennes kind of falling more deeply in love with his wife as he tries to uncover this mystery. He also becomes a much stronger person, because he's kind of this ineffectual guy. He is literally a gardener while she's this dynamo when they're together. And after she's gone and he finds out more and more, he finds things within him that he never knew he had. It's a great performance.
And, you know, I love the way the story gradually unfolds. It kind of begins with her murder, so I'm not giving it away. And then it flashes back, and you begin to put pieces of the conspiracy situation together a little bit at a time. It's kind of intriguing, just like the Le Carré novel for that matter.
It's a very, very strong adaptation of that very good book. Okay, our next movie is An Unfinished Life. It opens next week, and this is an early review. This film was originally supposed to be released in December of 2003. Now, usually when a movie sits on a shelf for 2 years, it's a bad sign. Usually. But in this case, we get one of the best old-fashioned dramas in recent memory, with some award-worthy performances from an A-list cast led by Robert Redford, who's just terrific here. This is an unashamedly emotional, big-sky soap opera that aims straight for your heart. It really doesn't miss. Redford plays Einar. He's a sour old rancher who has never forgiven Jennifer Lopez's Jean for the car accident that killed his son, to whom she was married.
We need a place to stay for about a month or so.
Looks like you need every part of your head examined. This yours?
She's yours, too.
Telling me I have a grandchild I don't know about?
Becca Gardner is wonderful as the good-hearted little grift who refuses to be daunted by all the heartache and resentment on that ranch, and this young actress proves there's another young child actress in Hollywood besides Dakota Fanning.
You guys are gay, right?
Oh, my God. Well, God, I think after almost 40 years working together, one of us noticed, don't you, Mitch?
Well, I always thought you had really lovely hands.
You did?
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman is once again playing the loyal, wise, and sidekick who was nearly killed a year earlier by a bear. Now, right, this role is awfully close to the part he played in $1 Million Baby, but who better to do these kinds of roles than Morgan Freeman?
But what I can't do Just continue to lie here every day and watch you mourn for a life you think you should have had. There are people everywhere who think they got dealt a bad hand, Ina.
An Unfinished Life is directed by Lasse Hallström, the sometimes overly sentimental director whose previous work includes What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Cider House Rules, and Chocolat. He is a great painter with the camera, but yeah, he sometimes overdoes it with the tragedy and the poetry and the melodrama, the crusty warm moments, the tear-jerking scenes. That said, I really did love this film, from Redford's showcase performance to the ensemble cast to all that gorgeous scenery. I'm not always sure what people mean when they say they don't make movies like they used to, but I think they mean movies like this. Big thumbs up for me.
Big thumbs up for me, too. You know, this movie was on the shelf because Miramax got an award at the Independent Spirit Awards 2 years ago for all its great movies on the shelf, and now they're releasing them before the Weinstein brothers bail out. And so why they didn't feel this was worthy of being released at the time, I don't know. I think it's a very good movie. People say, well, Morgan Freeman plays the same role here he did in $1 Million Baby. This movie was shot before
$1 Million
Baby, and he is very good in this movie. And the only area that made me feel strange was the bear, because I just saw Grizzly Man, about the guy that lives with the bears in Alaska, and you realize that, while bears may want to be free, people may not want to live next to free bears.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but don't you think Robert Redford as well, Roger? When you look at his long career, he's so good. In a way, I think he's almost underrated as an actor, and this is a performance that he just sinks his teeth into and really does a magnificent job.
Around a rant.
He sure does.
He is very good at showing anger, and he is very angry at Jennifer Lopez, and he blames her for his son's death, and the way that he, I mean, we know what the situation is going to be. He's going to reject her, but then he can't reject his granddaughter, and Morgan Freeman's going to be the playmaker. We know what's going to happen. Nevertheless, it reached me, it touched me when it did happen.
Me too. And Jennifer Lopez, you know, she sometimes gets caught up in star vehicles, and we both have given her a lot of good reviews on the show. And once again, I think it was smart of her to be part of this great ensemble. And she's terrific as well. She holds her own with these top-tier actors.
She is a very good actress, and somehow we just get to the point where if somebody has an unfortunate love affair and it's made public in some way, then they can't do anything right for the next 5 years.
She's good in this film.
For goodness sake, just let's give her a break. She's good. Okay. Coming up later in the show, Gwyneth Paltrow and Anthony Hopkins star in Proof. And next, the most mysterious woman in Hollywood in our Thumbs Up video segment.
Ebert and Roeper's Thumbs Up Video is brought to you by Nestle Raisinets. At the movies or at home, Raisinets.
This is over.
New on video this week. Okay, we didn't like Jennifer Lopez or Jane Fonda, who we normally like a lot, but they were in a movie called Monster-in-Law, which was terrible and got 2 thumbs down. Also new, the martial arts extravaganza, Ong Bak, the Thai warrior. Roger liked it. I didn't.
But I did like it, and I think you were really wrong about that movie, because I liked it for the same reasons I like Transporter 2.
People stop me on the street every day and say, what was with you and Ong Bak?
I'm sure
the
they
Thai
do,
warrior?
yeah.
And one other new movie on video for you, my friend Matthew McConaughey and Penelope Cruz in Sahara, which once again got a thumbs down from me, thumbs up from Roger, and you're going to have to live with that thumb for the rest of your life.
I will gladly live with that thumb for the rest of my life, because if you will read my review, which is online, or if you were listening when I was on the air, I think I gave very good reasons why that movie, which is so easy to give a bad review to, is actually, in its own terms, very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tell me about your video choice. You got one for me?
Yes, I do. And it's Garbo, the Signature Collection, a box set of 3 silent films, 7 sound films, and a documentary, all featuring one of the greatest stars in movie history, Greta Garbo. Garbo talks, the ad said, when she made Anna Christie, her first talkie, and 9 years later, it was Garbo laughs when she made Ninotchka, a sparkling comedy where she plays an official of the Soviet Union who was strictly business until she's sent to Paris and seduced by the French in general and Melvyn Douglas in particular.
The whites of your eyes are clear. Your cornea is excellent.
Your cornea is terrific.
This collection of Garbo films includes such other classics as Anna Karenina, Grand Hotel, Camille, and Queen Christina. If you're not ready for the whole set, you can rent or buy them one at a time, and I would recommend starting with Ninotchka.
Okay, most Oscar contenders aren't released until after Labor Day, but if they gave out Academy Awards for the first 2/3 of the year, I'd nominate Crash as Best Picture and also campaign for trophies for co-writer, producer, and director Paul Haggis and just about everybody in this cast. This is a provocative, unsettling, and brutally frank look at race relations in 21st century America.
Look at me. You embarrass me. You embarrass yourself.
The DVD extras include commentary from Don Cheadle and Haggis and a behind-the-scenes look at the making of the film. This is a breathtaking, powerful, and emotionally draining film.
You know, the rule of thumb is that you have to come out in the fall to get an Oscar nomination, but I really think Crash has made such an impression on so many people.
I do too.
And it stays in your mind that I think this movie is going to be nominated even though it's an early part of the year film. I really think it will.
Okay.
So, Garbo, the Signature Collection, and Crash will both be in stores on Tuesday.
What are you doing there?
Sorry, I wanted to...
It's wonderful news. I think I've got it.
Proof is an extraordinary film about a father, a daughter, her sister, and her boyfriend, and about the tightrope world of higher mathematics on a university campus. It opens in 2 weeks. This is an early review. Proof gets everything right, but it's especially convincing in the campus scenes, which look and sound authentic, and that's not easy. Most campuses seem to be on Hollywood sound stages. Gwyneth Paltrow gives one of her best performances as the daughter of a University of Chicago mathematician, played by Anthony Hopkins, who was the most brilliant mind of his generation, but in later years has become delusional.
Crazy people don't sit around wondering if they're nuts.
They don't?
Of course not. They've got better things to do. Take it from me. A very good sign that you're crazy is an inability to ask the question, am I crazy?
Paltrow is also a brilliant math student, but has dropped out of school to take care of her father. After his death, her sister, played by Hope Davis, flies in from New York and treats her like she's the one who lost her mind.
You think I'm like Dad?
I think you have some of his talent and some of his tendency toward instability.
Jake Gyllenhaal plays one of Hopkins' former students. He's in love with the Paltrow character and tries to give her the confidence to return to her studies, to her life, and to him.
I'm afraid of like my dad.
You are not him.
Maybe I will be.
Maybe, and maybe you'll be better. There is nothing wrong with you.
What I've described is compelling, but it's not what makes the movie fascinating to me anyway. That happens when the proof of a famous mathematical problem is found in the father's desk after his death. Who wrote it, the father, or did his daughter write it? Proof was directed by John Madden. It was written by David Auburn and Rebecca Miller. It's based on his play. It is pitch perfect in its portrait of university life and in its understanding of the human heart.
You're so right about that. Isn't it great to be in September where we're getting all these substantial movies now? And most of the main characters in this movie are University of Chicago, off the charts smart, and all of these actors are believable playing such smart characters. Gwyneth Paltrow won the Oscar for Shakespeare in Love. This is a much more complicated, challenging performance, and she's great in this.
And the whole thing about who really did something and whether you can claim it and whether you should claim it and whether you have the nerve to claim it. And then that Hope Davis character,
she's very
who is
good
not
as well.
just the villainess.
No.
She's a person with a very complicated relationship to her father and to her sister, and she's very controlling. And the other daughter, who is the brilliant one, has always kind of been stayed at home and taken care of Dad. And then Anthony Hopkins,
fantastic.
Despite the fact that he is basically dead at the beginning of the movie, has a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
And we never quite know exactly whether he's sane or not. He has
there you have
relapse
that great irony of madness and genius and his realization that he's being overtaken by this and he can't do anything about it. So it's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be back to recap this week's show right after this.
Trying to catch a bus.
Okay, recapping the movies on this week's show, we split on Transporter2. I liked it. You didn't?
You were a little too kind to that one.
2 thumbs down for Underclassman.
Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. 2 thumbs way up for The Constant Gardener. 2 thumbs way up for An Unfinished Life. It opens next week. 2 thumbs way up for Proof. It opens in 2 weeks. It's fall.
We have
good movie season starts today.
3 films. You are right. 3 films that are 4-star, top tier, as good as it gets. And we'll be back with a reminder of a couple of other really strong films in theaters right now, right after this.
Visit our website at ebertandroper.tv or at movies.com.
Looking at the movies that are being held over in theaters, one that I would recommend is Hustle and Flow with Terrence Howard, a really good movie about a pimp who wants to get into the music business and sounds like an unsavory subject matter, but actually what he's trying to do basically is change his life.
You know, you're so right, Roger. I think one of the problems is people say to me, oh, is that movie about the pimp who raps? And it's about so much more than that. And people who do see it really appreciate it. And I like Red Eye. We both love Rachel McAdams. I think she is going to be the next big thing, as you said recently. And it's Wes Craven, but he usually does horror splatter type stuff. And this is much more like a modern Hitchcock film with these 2 characters on this red-eye flight.
I like
Good
it, too.
stuff.
Next week, we'll be back with an early review of Nicolas Cage and Lord of War. Until then, the balcony is closed.
Why did your last diet fail?
Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor.
Call now. It's guaranteed.
If you'd like the quality of national brand healthcare products at lower prices, come to Good Neighbor Pharmacy for a complete selection. Buy the respected Good Neighbor Pharmacy brand.
Ever wonder what became of your classmates? With 60 million people registered from hundreds of thousands of schools, chances are you'll find old friends at classmates.com.
Live with menopause or worry about the drugs I take for it? What a choice.
Choose New Extra Strength New Phase. Relieves the miseries of menopause naturally. Extra Strength New Phase.
What a relief.
Closed captioning for Ebert and Roeper is brought to you by...
Save big during the truckload sale for a limited time at your hometown Brand Source store. Call 877-GO-BRAND for the Brand Source store location nearest you.